I'm sure we've all been in this situation. You're in Paleto Bay and want to go to the city. But what route do you take? Do you go on the left? Do you go on the right? Or do you cut across? In this video I'm trying to answer which of these routes is the fastest. The first route we have here is a very commonly used one. It's probably the easiest one. It's just taking the highway on the right side of the map. As you can see, it's pretty straight. There aren't really any corners. I think there's essentially like one corner where you kind of have to lift slash brake. I think you can just lift as well. And it's literally on the last stretch. For the rest, there's not a lot I can say about this route. It's super easy. Of course, with traffic, you might have to adjust lines, but this one is the easiest traffic-wise because there aren't really any corners. Like even this corner here is barely a corner, and even if you lift, it's even easier. I also didn't like curb boost in this video. You know, if you curb boost or brake boost, it can change, but you can curb boost and brake boost on all routes. So I thought I'd just let it be, just have like a baseline. But yeah, this route really easy, really nice. I think I'm actually gonna fast forward because I can't waffle for like another 2 minutes right now about this route because this one is just so easy. So yeah, as you can see, we're now at the end, and we finish just over 3 minutes, relatively fast for, you know, going all the way across the map. For our next route, we're going to the right. As you can see, this route just uses the highway, the Pacific Highway, I think it's called. Just goes along Fort Zancudo, then goes into the city a little bit, and you know, it's a bit more difficult than the other one. It's not difficult, but you have to take a little bit more corners, and it's a little bit more traffic dependent. So actually the results of this one surprised me. I'm gonna spoil them a little bit, sorry, but it's important for the explanation. So this one is actually quite a little bit faster. It's 3 minutes 2, I believe. So like 5 seconds fast or something like that. But should you always take this? I don't think so, maybe, because you're very traffic dependent on this one. For example, this turn here, you have to turn, of course, but if there's traffic here, like this turn is going to be slower anyways. Like you can't take the nice line if there's traffic there. But yeah, you also have the similar problem in a couple corners coming up ahead where you don't really have to brake, but you have to, like, well, if you take them really nicely, you have to cut the corner, and then you go into incoming traffic. So if you don't cut the corner there, you lose like a second because you have to lift, because you can't take the corner nicely. And then there's also some sections in the city, because the other one in the city, you have basically one turn where you have to maybe brake a little bit for traffic. Here you have like multiple, and it's a lot more sketchy, like with traffic. So even though this one is faster, I would still recommend the other one. It's I think consistently probably faster, because if you crash here, you lose a lot more time, and overall, if you, let's say you do like 10 runs in traffic, I think overall the other route would be faster. You know, especially like the turns we just had and turns coming up ahead here, like you have to slow down a little bit with traffic, which isn't ideal. But yeah, I think I'm going to fast forward a little bit, so we're in the city now. So yeah, as you can see, like merging into this section here, traffic. Then if you want to go here, like I decided to jump in between the trees, which, you know, works well, but even then you're still a little bit traffic dependent if there's a car just in that turn. Also here, like if you want to go full speed, you have these bumps, and if there's traffic, you can't really take nice lines. Like same there, if there's a car waiting, have to take another line. Exact same thing here. Incoming traffic, you're screwed once again, have to go into incoming traffic. And then now it's just a straight run for the line. But like I said, very traffic dependent. And it's, like I said, 5 seconds faster. So yeah, it's a risk you can weigh. But I think overall the other one is probably still faster. For next one, we have actually a surprisingly fast one. I thought, especially with the Pariah, which has a lot of traction loss multiplier, this wouldn't be that fast. But it actually is quite fast. As you can see, it's the route on the train tracks. So you go on the train tracks for a bit, and then in Sandy Shores, so like just before Sandy Shores, you hop off them, and then you go past Martin Madrazo's house, and then you join the highway we actually took for the first one for a little bit. And this one is actually considerably faster. I think it ends at like 2:54 if I'm correct. And well, that's like what, 8 seconds faster than the fast one. And this one is a lot less traffic dependent because, well, you have to do this section. You know, the first jump, if you slow down enough, if you slow down a little bit more, you lose a second, but it's a lot more consistent. Because if you go fast, it's a little bit less consistent, but it's faster. Here as well, if you focus, it's fine. If you lose focus, like I lost focus doing it, then you hit these little bridge thingies. Also, the jump off in a second is, well, if you practice it, like if you remember, okay, slow down, it's fine. But like even here, I could have flipped over quite easily. That's something to consider. But then this section, you just go straight for basically the most, like most of the time. You have this little intersection, but like it's nothing really. You just keep on going straight. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit right now. So yeah, we just finished a bunch of straight road, and now it's the important part. We're gonna join into the highway again. If you hit these bushes, it can be a bit sketchy, but you can avoid them. You can brake and go around them as well. And this part is essentially the same as the first route, and you can see we're already quite a lot of time up. As you can see, we're approaching the finish really quickly right now. We're in the 250s, and we're gonna finish with, like I said, 254, quite considerably faster than the other runs. So I would definitely recommend this, even though you have to risk of the train a little bit. For final route, we have a slight variation of the train track route. So instead of going past Martin Madrazo's house, which is a nice straight road, we actually go up into the hills. Ignore this part. I already accounted for this in post counting. This crash cost me about 4 seconds in the final count, so just subtract 4 seconds in the end. But yeah, basically, instead of following the road right here, we're going right into the little canal ditchy kind of thing. I don't know exactly what to call it. Drain ditch, I don't know, but like basically this thing, you go into a couple missions. There's probably more efficient ways to hit it, but also less efficient ways to hit it, because let's be fair, you're not gonna think about ideal racing lines every time. Maybe you just follow it up, and then in a second you go left. You have to be careful here you don't depart too much to the right, because then you actually hit the barrier and lose a lot of time. You have to like go precisely past it, don't hit the bush too much. But yeah, now there is this part, which is quite important for this, because in the end, if you subtract the 4 seconds, you're about the same time, maybe a second slower or something, but like, how fast you take this, all dependent. So it's about the same time as the Martin Madrazo route, but it's so much more risky. So first of all, you have these off-road sections which kind of throw you around, but especially this section, because you can't do this with traffic. If you do this with traffic, you get really lucky. But if you do it with traffic normally, you just hit traffic, flip a couple times. Same here, like if there's traffic right there, you're screwed, like it's blind. Now I would just crash into cars probably. So realistically, you can't replicate the kind of time I'm putting on this. So I would not recommend this one. I would, the Martin Madrazo one is nice. And the first one is nice. I think the first one is just consistent if you don't want to think and just want to get there quick, like consistently. And the train road route is nicer if you want to be like super speedrunny quick. But also if there's a train in the tunnel, then you're kind of screwed. It's not like a 5-second loss with traffic. It's like you have to wait for 20 seconds. So now you know which is fastest, but you still have to decide which one is faster, depending on your skill level and how much risk you want to take probably. And also, not every route is going to end in the center of the city, right? If something is more to the right or the left of the city, then take the route that's more to the left or the right, because they're still relatively close. Even like the furthest are still like only 12-13 seconds apart. So yeah, just take whichever route is closer to your destination, because they're all pretty similar.